South Africa is in for another week of intense power cuts. Eskom has announced the implementation of stage 6 load shedding from this afternoon. It says power cuts will continue to be implemented at various stages throughout the week, depending on the recovery of the system and the return of workers following last week's industrial action. Today, stage 4 load shedding will be implemented from 5 a.m. this morning up until 4 p.m. Then stage 6 kicks in at 4 p.m. up until 10 p.m. in the evening. The power utility says it expects stage 2 load shedding from midnight up until 5 a.m. tomorrow, which will increase to stage 4 until 4 p.m. Stage 5 will then kick in from 4 in the afternoon till 10 p.m. The embattled power utility says some capacity is offline due to planned maintenance and breakdowns. All right, let's speak now to our reporter, Tshegohaco Moagi, who is in the area of Ekurhuleni, speaking to people about the impact of load shedding on their lives. Tshego, good morning to you. I'm sure you are exhausted just listening to me telling the viewers about the various stages of load shedding. It just is very upsetting, the kind of interruptions that happen in our lives every so often that we are subjected to load shedding. By the way, we're paying our bills. That doesn't mean we stop. How are the people feeling there about paying for a service that they're not getting?
Absolutely, Xoli. You know, that is something that is quite upsetting for many residents in the country, really. The thought of having to pay for your electricity bill, however, you are still sitting in the dark. I mean, just an example, we had load shedding where I stay from about midnight until 2:30 this morning. However, when I left home this morning, the load shedding was still ongoing. So it really begs the question, those times that you have given, whether they're actually accurate and what the situation then is going to be for the country. I mean, I know of a family that has paid about 3,000 Rand for electricity, yet they are still sitting with this load shedding schedule that they now have to follow, and hopefully that schedule is actually on track. But the other issue, Xoli, around load shedding is the impact that it has financially on people's lives, and how, you know, it implicates them financially, how they need to now suddenly be buying new appliances that is completely unbudgeted for. And we are at a home here in Ekurhuleni in Davidson of Sis Nomahlubi Kaza, and she's just given us details, you know, of the expense that she and her husband have had to face because of load shedding. Let's bring her into this conversation. Sis Nomahlubi, siyabonga isikhathi sakho. So sicela usitshele ukuthi kwenzakalani ma una load shedding and ukuthi inaffecta kanjani?
I-load shedding iyas-affecta ngoba igesi ithe mayihamba mayibuya masithi siplaka i-fridge yathola ukuthi i-fridge iphukile ishile, and so mawuyiplaka iyawisa, then kwamele ukuthi manje sithenge i-fridge ngoba angeke sihlale singena fridge ngoba ukudla kuzomosheka. Kwamele ukuthi sispende 5,500 for ukuthenga enye i-fridge.
And benina budgetanga i-5,500.
Besingayibudgetanga for i-fridge, i-5,500. Kumele ukuthi okunye siyiboleke ukuze sibe ne-fridge sizosave izinto.
Manje anisabi ukuthi ezinye izinto nazo zizafa and you have to then buy new stuff.
Siyasaba, so asazi.
And you're not saving money by any chance?
No, ngoba asisebenzi angithi.
All right. Yeah. All right, ngiyabonga Sis Nomahlubi. Just to show you, I'm with Njabulo this morning, Xoli, just to show you the fridge that she's referring to. You can actually quite see where there is actually this particular situation here. It actually burnt completely. And you can see the effects that load shedding actually has on families. As you heard from her, she was just telling us that she and her family had to then get a new fridge, you know, spending 5,500 Rand to get a new fridge. And because they are unemployed, another situation within South Africa that is quite upsetting and on the rise, the unemployment rate. And because they are unemployed, they have to now also request the neighbors to assist them with, buying a fridge, or request other people to help them financially with then having to buy a new fridge, because they say that, they can't go without a fridge in this day and age. Things will go off if you do not have a fridge. Your meat and so forth will go off. So that's just the impact of one household of having to buy a new appliance. But we also had a conversation earlier this morning, Xoli, with a lady who told us about her motor, her gate motor. And you can just imagine the security issue also around that. She says that sometimes she comes back from work at about 6 a.m. in the morning and she's unable to get into her home because the motor has now decided that it's not going to work because of load shedding. And it's the things that trip because of load shedding when the power comes back. So she has to call somebody and request that they come and assist her to get into her home. And this then means having to then buy a new motor all completely. So, the financial implications, Xoli, are just something that a lot of households have spoken to, where you have to now suddenly budget for other things, or you have to suddenly buy things that you are not budgeting for because of the impact of load shedding, especially when that electricity comes back.
Live for us in Ekurhuleni, Tshegohaco Moagi. Thank you very much for that update, talking about the impact of load shedding on the lives of ordinary people, you and I. It's hell, absolute hell.